Justin Bieber is unraveling in front of our eyes. From cryptic social media rants to being caught looking completely lost in public, fans are starting to wonder, is this just a rough patch or something much darker? Because now the whispers have turned into headlines. Hailey Bieber is reportedly planning to take full legal control over Justin's life. That's right, we're talking about a possible conservatorship, the same kind of legal cage that nearly destroyed Britney Spears. But how did it get this bad? How did one of the biggest stars in the world end up at the center of a mental health crisis so intense that his own wife might be preparing to declare him legally unfit? And the scariest part, there are signs this may have been in motion for longer than anyone realized. From secret business moves to suspicious paparazzi sightings and even a link to the same woman behind Britney's downfall, this story has layers. So buckle up, because what's happening behind closed doors might not just ruin a marriage, it could end Justin Bieber's control over his own life. For months now, something hasn't been right with Justin Bieber. At first, it was easy to dismiss. Maybe he was just tired, taking time off, keeping a low profile. But then came the viral videos, Justin stumbling through public spaces, looking dazed, slurring words, eyes distant, photos of him barely able to lift his head on stage, just standing there like a ghost of the performer he once was. And then the Instagram posts started, one after another, messy and unfiltered, grainy bathroom selfies, long, confusing captions about loyalty, betrayal, love, and pain. Some were spiritual, others felt like a cry for help, and fans noticed this wasn't quirky behavior. It was disturbing. Some posts even showed him holding his baby in one frame and lighting up in the next. People were asking, is anyone around him stepping in? Does anyone even care? Things spiraled further when he shared a screenshot of a ChatGPT query asking if certain products could be used to manage emotions. Not only did that set off alarm bells, it linked Justin to a trend of misusing therapy products that have devastated parts of LA's celebrity scene. And for fans who have followed Justin since the beginning, it wasn't just sad, it was terrifying. This wasn't burnout, it was breakdown, and it had only just begun. While Justin's unraveling has been public, Hailey's breakdown has been quiet, and that might be even more alarming. To the outside world, she's always looked composed, always standing next to him, always defending him, but behind that calm exterior is a woman who's been stretched thin for years. She didn't just marry a pop star, she married his pain, his past, and every unhealed part of him. People forget that Hailey became a wife, a therapist, and a crisis manager all in one. Every time Justin had a meltdown, she caught the blame. Every time he posted something concerning, the internet turned to her and said, fix him. Even recently, when Justin looked completely out of it while performing with SZA, it wasn't him trending, it was Hailey. Why isn't she helping? Why is she just standing there? As if it was her job to carry him off the stage. But here's what fans are now realizing. Hailey has been carrying him for years, and the weight has only gotten heavier since they had their baby. Because now she's not just a wife, she's a mom, and somewhere along the way, she stopped being Justin's priority and started being his lifeline. Close sources say Hailey hit a wall, that once the baby came, her focus had to shift, and that's when everything truly started to fall apart. Justin's meltdowns became more frequent, his posts more erratic, and people close to them say Hailey couldn't do it anymore. Not like before, not alone. Now the question isn't whether she still loves him, it's whether she can survive loving him at all. This is where things get real, because behind the emotional spirals and public concern, there's something much more serious brewing. Rumors that Hailey is exploring a legal conservatorship over Justin. Yes, the same kind of legal control that kept Britney Spears under lockdown for over a decade. At first, it sounded like just another internet theory, but then reputable outlets started running pieces. Legal experts began chiming in. They broke it down step by step, what Hailey would have to prove, what Justin would lose, and how frighteningly possible it actually is. In California, getting a conservatorship now isn't easy. After the Free Britney movement exposed how dangerous it can be, judges are stricter than ever. But they're not impossible. All Hailey would need is proof that Justin is a problem to himself, to her, or to their child. And if you've seen his recent behavior, some would say the proof is stacking up. This would give her control over everything: his finances, his medical care, and even custody decisions for their baby. He wouldn't just be monitored, he'd be legally powerless. And that's where things start to feel less like help and more like control. Because once that kind of power is handed over, getting it back is almost impossible. Just ask Britney. Even more chilling, the online coverage isn't warning Hailey against doing it. They're walking her through it. Step-by-step guides, articles breaking down what documents she needs, how to argue her case. It's like they're pushing her toward it. And if you know anything about how these stories unfold in Hollywood, you know this is exactly how it starts. The concern, the cameras, the quiet legal moves behind the scenes. Then boom, total control. Now here's where the conspiracy alarms start ringing. Because the more you look at how this is all unfolding, the more it starts to feel intentional. Lately, paparazzi have been catching Justin at his worst. Not occasionally, consistently. Every time he steps out, they're there. And not just happen to be nearby. We're talking full-blown ambushes, looking disoriented at a gas station, slumped over in cafes, wandering aimlessly with red eyes and no security in sight. It's always the same: vulnerable, fragile, and always somehow found. And fans have started asking the real question: who keeps leaking his location? Because it's not random. Someone close to him, someone in his inner circle has to be tipping them off. And the more photos of him looking unstable that flood the internet, the easier it becomes for someone like a spouse or legal guardian to build a case that he's unfit. It's giving setup. And here's where things get even more disturbing. Remember Lou Taylor? The woman linked to Britney Spears' conservatorship nightmare, the same woman who helped orchestrate one of the most controversial celebrity lockdowns in recent history? Well, not long ago, Justin was working with Lou Taylor too. She was briefly brought on as his business manager, just as stories about his money problems started circling. Around the same time, Justin sold his music catalog for $200 million. Some say it was a smart business move. Others claim it was a desperate cash grab. Either way, the timeline is sketchy, and her involvement, no matter how short, has fans rattled. Lou may no longer be in the picture, but people can't help wondering, what seeds did she plant while she was? What influence did she leave behind? Because if there's one thing we've learned from Britney's case, it's that once someone like Lou Taylor steps into your life, the damage doesn't stop just because the contract ends. As Justin's behavior worsened and Hailey's silence grew louder, the internet did what it always does. It took sides. But this time, the divide is deeper than ever. One side sees a man who clearly needs help. They point to the spiraling posts, the disoriented photos, and the breakdowns caught on camera. To them, this isn't drama. It's a full-blown mental health crisis. And if Hailey's the one closest to him, then stepping in, even legally, is the only way to protect him. They don't see control, they see compassion. She's trying to save him, they say, before it's too late. But the other side, they're not buying it. They see something more calculated, more strategic. They believe Justin's being set up, slowly discredited, and pushed toward a situation where he'll have no say in his own life. To them, this looks less like help and more like a power grab. They point out how quickly the conservatorship talk entered the mainstream, how outlets are pushing the narrative with just enough subtlety to plant the idea in people's minds, and how somehow Hailey always walks away looking like the composed one, while Justin gets painted as the broken burden. Even his fans are conflicted. Some say he just needs support, therapy, time, and space away from the spotlight. Others are scared that if nothing is done soon, things could go from bad to irreversible. But what's chilling is this: once the courts get involved, support becomes a supervision. And from that point on, Justin's life may never fully belong to him again. For years, Hailey Bieber has been Justin's anchor. But now it looks like she might be cutting the rope. The turning point came quietly but powerfully when she sold her skincare brand Rhode for nearly $1 billion. That's generational wealth, independence, a signal that she no longer needs to rely on the Bieber name for anything. And almost immediately, fans started speculating, is she getting ready to leave? Some even said it out loud, pack your bags, girl. You've got your money, walk away. Because for the first time in their entire relationship, Hailey has the power to exit without looking back. And she doesn't just have money, she has public sympathy. Years of being blamed for Justin's breakdowns, years of people saying she was the problem when she was actually holding him together. Now, even her own fans are urging her to go, and Hailey seems to be hearing them. Just days after the road sale, she posted a story mentioning she'd be spending the summer in therapy, then quickly edited the therapy part out, but by then the internet had already seen it. And it said everything. She's drained, she's overwhelmed, and she's silently screaming for space because while everyone's focused on Justin's spirals, no one's talking about Hailey's. The quiet kind, the kind that shows up in the background of a picture or in an edited caption, the kind where you're present but not okay. And that's what makes this moment so fragile. Because if Hailey really is thinking about walking away, we could be days away from the collapse of not just a marriage, but an entire public image. If there's one place where Justin's breakdown is most visible, it's his Instagram feed. What used to be curated tour photos, brand campaigns, and studio shots has turned into a digital cry for help. Dirty bathroom selfies, rambling captions, screenshots of him Googling about products and emotional regulation, posts that don't feel edgy or creative. They feel raw, unfiltered, and deeply alarming. One moment, he's sharing a photo of himself holding the baby. The next slide, he's lighting up, barely blinking at the camera. People flooded the comments. Is the baby around that smoke? You're a father now, grow up. And when fans started voicing concern, Justin didn't back down. He ramped up. He began posting rants about loyalty, how it's a manipulative concept, how love should never feel like duty. It felt targeted, it felt personal, and it felt like a message to Hailey. Loyalty is a manipulative language, he wrote. It's used to keep people trapped in fear. I choose love over loyalty. Then came another bombshell. Tired of transactional relationships. If I have to do something to be loved, that's not love. The timing? Suspicious. It came just as rumors of Hailey leaving were heating up right after she cashed out of Rhode and hinted at a summer of self-care. People started to wonder, is Justin pushing her away on purpose or pushing her to act? Even worse, his posts started getting spiritual, Bible verses, mentions of forgiveness and sin. It was all too familiar. A pattern we've seen with other celebrities during manic episodes. Remember Gabby Hanna, the same exact spiral, the scariest part? Justin's in the studio, he's around music, but he's not releasing anything, no singles, no projects, just chaos. For someone who used to sell out stadiums, the silence is deafening. At this point, Justin and Hailey aren't just dealing with a rough patch, they're unraveling in real time, and the internet has front row seats. What started as cryptic posts about loyalty and love has morphed into something darker, rumors of a toxic one-sided marriage, and even whispers of an open relationship. When Justin equated loyalty to mafia control, fans were stunned. Loyalty is not free will, he wrote. Love is a delight. People didn't know whether to cry or ask if he was hinting at wanting out or letting someone else in. Then came the public jabs. Justin began defending other women like Sexy Red online with a passion he's rarely shown for Hailey. People noticed, where was this energy when trolls were tearing his wife apart? Where was the public support when Hailey needed it? Even on Mother's Day, the tension showed. Justin posted a bare minimum caption that fans slammed as cold and dismissive. Meanwhile, Hailey had posted about being in therapy all summer, only to quietly delete the therapy mention later, but it was too late. People were connecting the dots. She's exhausted, she's not okay, and she's not being celebrated for it. The silence between them is loud. No couple photos, no shared love notes, just eerie online activity, captions that feel like arguments, deleted stories that feel like confessions, and fans watching like, is this still a marriage? or just a performance? Because in between the baby bottles and Bible quotes, you can feel the resentment building. She's tired of playing mother to a grown man. And he seems more focused on proving he doesn't need anyone, even if that means pushing away the one person still holding on. So, where does this all lead? What started as subtle signs of burnout has become a full blown unraveling, a global superstar spiraling in front of millions, while the people closest to him either stay silent or quietly make moves to take control. Justin Bieber is hurting, that much is obvious, but what's not clear is whether the people around him want to help him heal or just manage the fallout, because this feels familiar. We've seen it before, the paparazzi, the edited captions, the concerned insiders, and then suddenly conservatorship. Hailey may be trying to save him, or she may be trying to save herself, maybe both. But what's undeniable is that their relationship, once sold as picture perfect, is now a case study in emotional exhaustion, mental health collapse, and how quickly love can become survival. Whether they split or stay together, the truth is this: Justin doesn't need another brand deal or another studio session. He needs help, real help, and he needs it before someone else decides what that help should look like permanently. Because if you look closely, you'll realize this isn't just a marriage on the edge, it's a man dangling over it. So, what do you think? Is this Justin's final cry for help, or has the machine already decided how his story ends? Please like and subscribe and hit that bell for the next video. Until next time.